Are you thinking about buying or selling a home in today's market? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Everything you're hearing about the housing market in the media is a total lie. Well, kind of. It really depends on what side of the fence you sit on. I'm going to play devil's advocate today, and we're going to talk about the housing market and some of these lies of what the media is spreading, and you can decide at the end of it what makes more sense for you, whether you're a buyer or a seller. If this is the first time that you're checking out my channel, my name is Seanu Uyehara. I'm a branch manager with Loan Depot, helping you finance your homes all across the country. Whether you're thinking of buying your first home, buying a vacation home, or looking to build your real estate portfolio, I've got you covered. Make sure to hit the description below. There's links to more information on how to get your mortgage right. And if you're in the process of either purchasing or wanting to refinance, make sure to send me an email. I'm happy to provide a free cost analysis to make sure that you are getting the best deal with your home loan. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, I appreciate the love. And make sure if you find this video helpful, share this with a friend so we can spread the education and the knowledge to help everybody else get their mortgage right. Now, I know over the last couple of years, the media has become more and more influential with what they are putting out to make us sway one way or the other. And this is not a political video, so I'm going to stop there. However, when it comes to the housing market, there are things that the media continues to put out there to make us fearful of the real estate market. This actually reminds me of what happened back during the 2008 crash. I was 2 years fresh out of college. The housing market is collapsing. And I could remember the media just continuously putting out that Las Vegas, Florida, California, Texas, these were some of the most highly talked about states about foreclosures. I think Las Vegas or Florida, we were probably the foreclosure capital of the world. Now, the media was saying, don't buy real estate, housing prices are dropping, and just the world was falling apart. However, I had a bunch of clients that I was working with at the time that were investors. And these guys and gals would literally fly into Vegas for a weekend at a time. They'd get qualified, they'd go shopping, they'd find a few houses, and they'd go back home. We'd close down the financing for them. They'd get it rented, and they were making money. Now, at the time, I really wasn't paying attention to what they were doing, which is a big regret, because I actually was talking to a loan officer about this yesterday, and the one thing we both agreed on was, why didn't we buy more houses during the crash? Again, I was young, I was stupid, I was still partying and not really thinking about how to build wealth. So if you're watching this video, I hope you don't make the same mistake. Think about building wealth, not only for yourself, but for your family. So back to my point, my clients were literally buying homes, and I will never forget what this dentist told me. He said, Sean, this is like Monopoly. I'm gonna keep buying houses as long as you can keep financing them for me. And I was like, great, we can finance up to 10 homes, so keep shopping. Now, in hindsight, again, I should have been buying homes alongside with a guy like that. But my point in sharing that story is that the media was telling us not to buy. The foreclosure crisis was going on. People were filing bankruptcies left and right. People were getting divorced left and right. But this group of people that I was connected with saw through that. I always think that there is a silver lining in no matter what kind of media, press, or anything that gets put out. But you got to read between the lines, and you need to figure out what is that silver lining for you. For my clients, it was being an investor. This is way before I think Bigger Pockets became such a big hit on social media, on podcasts, and these guys were doing it before that. Now, I think about where we are today. Again, the media is talking about that prices are dropping, prices are correcting all over the country, and we're down from last year and this and that. Interest rates are up from last year. But I want you to really think about what took place in the last 2 years. The last 2 years, in my opinion, were artificially created. The government printed money like crazy. The banks offered forbearances, which propped up housing values because foreclosures couldn't take place, or if they did, it was a very, very small amount of them that did. So if you had no supply and you had this massive pent-up demand because interest rates were at record lows over the last 50 years, that is literally a recipe for disaster, and that's what happened the last 2 years. So whenever I have these conversations with clients and they're asking about, should I buy, should I not buy, it really depends on you, which I've talked about in other videos. But you also have to get rid of the notion of what took place in the last 2 years, because all the media is talking about and all the data that they're referencing is off of the last 2 years. So when you say prices are dropping, what are they comparing that to? They're comparing it to what it was last year or the year before. And what happened? We had double-digit increases, 20+% in some parts of the country. So if you compare what a normal appreciation rate looks like in real estate, I believe it's anywhere from 3 to 5% historically. So when you 4x that number in a matter of a year or two, the house that was once $400,000, or call it $300,000, it has gained over $100,000 of equity in such a short period of time. So of course you're going to have a reduction or a downturn. But again, that's only because we came off of 2 record years. Now, when you think about interest rates, same thing. So many clients I've spoken to will say, well, rates are too high. Well, comparative to what? Again, if we're gonna look at the last 2 years, those 2 years were artificially created. And I've said this before, you can go back, you can look at the history of the 30-year fixed mortgage. How many times have we seen 2%, 2.5% interest rates? Because even during that time frame, we were refinancing people left and right. And the crazy thing is, some clients would actually tell me, Sean, I think rates are gonna go even lower. I'm gonna wait for a 1% 30-year fix, which is just mind-blowing to me because that never happened. And I told that client and those clients, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna see that. But again, they think they know better and they're gonna wait for that 1%. And I'm pretty sure they might have still been waiting, and who knows if they even refinanced their house. But again, the media is saying interest rates are up. Compared to what? Compared to last year? Well, of course they are. If you're coming off a record low, anything other than a record low is going to be higher than what it was. So again, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And depending on what side of the fence you sit on, whether it be a home buyer or a home seller, you will look at the market with 2 different lenses. Now let's think about it from the home seller standpoint. Are you hating this market right now? Yes, you probably are. Why are you hating it? Because other people are starting to price correct, or what I'm hearing some realtors call it is price improvements these days. You are now feeling you might have missed the boat. So you're having that FOMO that, you know what, I should have sold. I should have sold 6 months ago. I should have sold last year. But you held out because you wanted to make more money on your house. You wanted to squeeze every last drop of equity out of your home. That might be costing you money today. So again, this is why sometimes when we wait to do things, and it comes to the real estate market in my career that I've always seen, sometimes when you wait and you try to time the market, you end up missing the market. So if you're a seller right now, again, you might be hating this time. So you might hate what the media says. You might even say that everything that they're saying is true, because it's like anything else in life. Whatever you think about, whatever you focus on, comes to fruition. So if you're focusing on the fact that we are in a terrible market or there are less buyers out there, that's what you're going to find. And that's why, like I always say this in my videos, you have to find a good realtor to work with. Finding someone who's just going to do you a favor just to get your house listed, or you think they're a good agent, may not always be the case. You have to have someone that has a good strategy in this market, because I am working with great agents all over the country that are winning, that are selling clients' homes without price reductions, that are selling clients' homes with multiple offers, and they're getting them top dollar for their properties. So again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Now, let's look at it from the home buyer standpoint. You can certainly get caught up in the hype and all the hoopla that mortgage rates are too high or the prices are coming down and the market's crashing. There is definitely a subset of you out there that feel that way. There's also another portion of you that look at this as opportunity. So this is why sometimes when we hear these things in the media, like I mentioned earlier, you have to read between the lines, because what they are telling you, they're trying to sway you one way or the other. And more often it's going to be for the negative. So if you are a buyer and you feel terrified of the market, you feel anxious, you feel like you missed the boat, they almost want you to feel that way, because the media will keep you compressed and keep you down in the market, while Wall Street and other investors continue to buy properties. And you can look this up. There's a company called Tricon Residential. They're buying tens of thousands of homes all over the country. Blackstone raised one of the largest funds recently of $50 billion to buy residential real estate. That doesn't get a lot of press. Why? That only tells you that they believe in the residential real estate market. If they didn't, why would they be raising funds? Why would they be continuously buying residential single-family homes all over the country? When I hear those stories, it again reminds me of the crash. Because if we can see through all the BS online, on TV, and you can look for the right opportunity that works for you, you know that the media is lying to you and that you can be successful in this market. And I know this because in my branch, in my office, we are constantly helping home buyers get into homes. They're walking into homes where I've seen appraisals come in $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 above the list price. And what does that mean? And why is that good? Because that home buyer is literally walking into equity, into that deal. So again, two sides of the story. The home seller left money on the table. The home buyer walked into the deal. Again, who's the better realtor? Who's the better agent? The buy side did a better job on that transaction because they were able to get that house under a price that the seller thought it was a fair price that they were selling it at. So there's this disparity in the market right now where home sellers don't really know where to price because they were overpriced from before. And home buyers can take advantage of the fact of there is uncertainty, and some of these home sellers still have the mindset of what took place the last couple of years, which was, let me put my house on the market today. It's going to get 30 offers tomorrow. I'm going to sell it for $75,000 more than what I thought I was going to sell it for. They don't know how to react to that. They don't know how to adjust to today's market other than price reduction, price reduction, price reduction. But as a home buyer, this is where the ball's in your court. This is the time where you get to shine because everything that you could not ask for the last 2 years, you can now ask for today. Closing costs, getting the seller to buy down your interest rate for you, getting the seller to reduce their price for no good reason other than the fact that they are panic selling. So I don't care what the media says about the housing market because there are deals to be had. I'm an investor myself and I'm constantly looking at deals. I just looked at a house yesterday in Alabama that I could have purchased for under $150,000. For under $150,000 that rents for about $1,250 a month. That could be a potential amazing buy for me. I just haven't done my due diligence on the property yet. So again, is the media lying to us today? They're definitely swaying us one way or the other. But you need to decide for yourself whether you're a seller or a buyer. How does this affect you? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish by either selling or buying a home right now? And if you don't know what that answer is, that's where a lender like myself can help you. So make sure to send me an email so we can have that conversation and try to lay out a game plan so you can be successful too. I'd hate to see people sitting on the sidelines, hoping, wishing, and praying for the right opportunity to come its way. Because like anything else in life, if you continue to wait for that opportunity, it could very well pass you by. And don't let real estate be one of those opportunities. Share this video with a friend who needs some inspiration. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.